Hello, I have just recently rediscovered this shirt in my wardrobe, and fun fact, this was the shirt I was wearing when I buried my dog Seth. It probably still smells of salted tears and despair. So yeah, I was in the middle of a lesson and he took a turn for the worse, and there was never anything we could have done for him. He's about 500 years old and taken to the vets. I've never cried like that in my life. My dad said to me, look, you can bury him at mine out the back. So there I am. Ooh. His neighbours must have been looking out the window thinking, blimey, Mal's son really does not like gardening. Anyway, I'll keep it light the next time. On to today's lesson. I'm going to show you two chords, and with those two chords, a bunch of stuff that you can do, sections of songs. So here we go. Right, so the two chords I'm going to show you are an E minor 7 and an A7, and they're fairly simple really. So your first chord, E minor 7, with your second finger, your longest one on your left hand, you're going to cover the second fret of the 5th string. Now you've got to use the very tip of your finger and curl your fingers round, because you don't want the underside of that second finger to catch any strings beneath it. So I'll show you that again. So you've got that kind of gap between, and you want your wrist, you don't want to be like that because you don't have as much movement in your fingers. You want to have your wrist lowish down. It's just a bit of a trial and error thing. So yeah, you're covering the second fret on the 5th string, and once you do that, you're just going to lightly strum all of the strings. So that is called an E minor 7. If you saw it written down, it might just say E and then a small M7. And then the other chord we're going to do is an A7. So from that E minor 7, all you need to do is lower your second finger one string down. Again, try and keep that gap so you're not touching the string underneath. And then as well as that, you're going to add your 3rd finger, the one next to your little finger, and you're going to put that on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. Again, try and use the very tip of the finger and have that space so you're not catching the strings underneath. And with this chord, which is called A7, you are going to miss the thickest string and strum the other 5, and you get this kind of sound. So E minor 7, 2nd finger, 2nd fret the 5th string, and then the A7, you're going to move that 2nd finger down and you're going to play the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then you're going to put your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. And you could use 1st finger and 1st and 2nd finger, but I prefer the way my hand sort of sits. It just feels more of a natural kind of grip for me. So when you play them back to back, I'm going to do 4 on an E minor 7, 4 on an A7. And now I'm going to show you some songs which use these two chords. So the first example we're going to do is Rocket Man by Elton John, just the very opening section, and it goes she packed my bags last night pre-flight, a 0 hour at 9 AM. Probably see I'm just doing 4 on the E minor 7, 4 on the A7. Good, and why am I saying good? So the next one we can do is Mad World, and it's just the chorusy bit, and it's the Mad World. Mad World. So same routine, just 4 on each. The next one's a dodgy one. You know when you're in a conversation with someone a similar age and you get all nostalgic talking about TV shows from your youth. Like for me it was stuff like Will-O-the-Wisp, Captain Caveman, The New Shmoo. Well, there's one, every time I've had this conversation, there's a TV show that no one else has ever seen apart from me, and it uses these two chords on the theme tune, and it's called Mr. Rossi, and all I remember is the theme tune. I can't remember the content of it, but it goes like this. It's Mr. Rossi, what you want? All the tray of ice cream cones, a cocoa castle for a home, custard cakes, coffee breaks, holidays were all the same. So there you go. Okay, I'm going to show you two more examples. The first one is the Queen one, another one bites the dust. And I know they don't actually strum using those chords, it's this. But those chords are outlined by those notes. So I'm going to go through it. So it's Steve walks warily down the street with the people way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of his feet. Machine guns ready to go. So if you wanted to do like sing along, you could do that. So that was 6 on the E minor 7, 2 on the E 7 and repeated. And the last one we'll do is Aeroplanes by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And just a small section is I like pleasure spiked with pain, and music is my aeroplane. It's my aeroplane. So yeah, your homework is to comfortably move between those two chords, the E minor 7 and the A 7. And we shall leave it there.